Hey, I am so sorry, guys. Good evening. Oh, now my phone want to do all kinds of stuff. Good evening, good evening. Hey. I'm rushing, y'all. I apologize. I had to go drop my nephew off, and it's Friday in the A. So traffic likes to kind of pile up. But I am here. I am 3 minutes behind, so I apologize. But I am here. Hey, Mike. Hey, Hassani. What's up, girl? What's up? Hey. Hey, sis. All right. So, good evening, guys. Welcome to Camper Conversations. Let me turn this down a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and get started because I am a few minutes late. Again, I apologize. Had a little run around to do, but we are here. So, all right, we're going to get on this thing. Hassani, hey, girl. I haven't seen you on. Welcome. We're going to get started on this thing. All right. So, let me start off by saying, like I always do. Hey, Sarah. Like I always do. Welcome to Camper Conversations. Welcome to Real Life Relationship Growth. And this is our Friday segment called Camper Conversations. If this is your first time here, let me give you a real quick little snippet of things. So, I am Donna. Hey, listen, I am not a relationship expert. I don't proclaim to be. I don't profess to be. I don't say I am. Nothing like that. I'm just a black woman in this life, in this world, living this life and doing the damn thing and enjoying myself. That's who I am. That's what this is. So we take topics on this page. We take topics that may have been posted. Thanks, sis. May have been posted previously. And we either posted previously to the page or someone has inboxed it to me and said, hey, can you put this out? Can you talk about this? I'm a little, shy about doing it. Or maybe a personal matter that they don't want to put their name to. And that is totally okay. That is totally okay. Because the reason we are here at Real Life Relationship Growth is because we all are adults and we fall into one of the categories. One of the categories that I'm going to mention. Either we're single, we're dating, we're courting, we're married, we're engaged, we're divorced. One of those categories describes you. So everything we talk about on this page is for healthy relationship growth. There is no bashing. There is no combativeness. We don't get into no back and forths on here because we all grown. Hey, Takesha, we are all grown. And we have different life experiences. But what I may have experienced in life at some point, you may have experienced, or you may be experiencing, or you may be going through, or it may not have happened to you either yet, or it may never have happened. But what we like to do here, we like to love on one another. And loving on one another says, hey, sis, I understand where you're coming from. I've been there. And this is what helped me. Hey, bruh. I get what you're dealing with. I've experienced that, and this is what helped me. This is the purpose and point of this page. However we can help one another and love on each other and move through this process of relationships that we go through. All right? That's why we're here. So again, I always like to give a shout out to the brothers. Because ladies, no disrespect to y'all and no belittling of y'all. But when the fellas come out with things like this, and topics, conversations, we like to applaud. We applaud, well, at least I do. Can't speak for everybody. I'm going to say why I do. Because a lot of times men are shut down on the communication level, on the communication side. Because they are taught, a lot of men are, you don't cry, you don't talk about this, you do deal with this, you keep it to yourself. So when the brothers come out and they join us, and they send me things, because trust and believe, they are sending me things to my inbox. And I appreciate y'all fellas. They're sending me things to my inbox, and they want to talk about it. or they want to laugh about it. So we do fun stuff, serious stuff. We talk about some stuff that's a little questionable, but we are all grown. We all come from different beliefs, different backgrounds, different upbringings, and that's why I love this Rainbow Tribe so much. All right, so we're going to get started. So when y'all see me looking back and forth, just understand I'm on Facebook and I'm on, hey Leia girl, I'm on Facebook and I'm on IG. Trying to get to YouTube. Totally honest, y'all. I just have not sat down and taken the time to open up a YouTube page. Have so many videos that will go over to YouTube. But right now, all the videos, all the topics of discussions that we have gone through are pinned at the top of the page. So when we finish, this video will be pinned at the top of the page, the Real Life Relationship Growth page. And you could go back at any time at any point and view any video. All right, so let's get started. Our topic today is cheating. Can you come back from that? Cheating. Can you come back from that? I'm going to turn this down because I don't want Facebook or IG to be like, that's not your music, and try to mute the video. All right, so the topic, cheating. Can you come back from that? Kevin, there you are, sir. Hey. This is a very sensitive topic. Everyone does not have an experience with this topic, but if you've had an experience with this topic and you'd like to share, feel free. Feel free. This is a no judgment zone. If you don't want to share, that is fine as well. That is fine as well. So, cheating. Can you come back from that? All right, y'all. So listen, make sure y'all typing in the chat, y'all, giving your point of view. Because again, I'm not an expert. We just want to talk to each other and help each other out and give someone some input and some information that may be helpful to them. All right. So y'all know I'm pretty transparent. I'm pretty transparent on here because again, there's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing that Donna Wall has not experienced that someone else has not already. And it's not necessarily that I'm okay with putting my business out, because trust and believe there's a lot going on in this young lady's life that you all do not know. Believe it or not, because I do post a lot. I do put a lot out. So, but I honestly have to say, I've experienced this once in my life, as far as I know. And I say as far as I know because I just know of one relationship experience where I knew the person had cheated on me. And my response and reaction to it is possibly different than what your response and your reaction is, what would have been to it, right? So this is not me telling you what you should do. I will never, ever tell anyone what they should do in that situation, in that scenario. If your significant other, your spouse cheats on you, I would never say, leave them. Don't talk to them. Leave them alone, blah, blah, blah. The only reason and the only way I would advise anybody, male or female, is if there is some physical, mental, emotional, sexual abuse involved. That is the only time that I would say to my sister, for example, is I don't want you in this situation. I don't want your life threatened. I don't want you to be made to feel insecure and belittled and all of this stuff. That is when I would advise my sister or my girlfriend or my niece or my best friend, my mother or my aunt to leave a relationship, or my brother or my uncle or my boy. It doesn't matter. Abuse goes on both spectrums. So please understand, I would never tell anyone to leave. That is something that they would have to determine and they would have to know. So I don't want to miss any comments, y'all. So I'm going to flip back and forth. So Mike said, with time, you can get over it because my second marriage is now the bomb. 2 kids, 22 years later, doing well. The first one was early and I learned from it. I learned from it and it wasn't. Kevin said, y'all, these are 2 of the brothers I'm big up in, okay? Because when I said the brothers come out, these are 2 of the ones that always come out. Hey, fellas. Mike is my brother from another mother way back. Kevin said, yes, you can. It requires tremendous understanding and ultimately forgiveness. Understanding what caused the infidelity and taking the steps prevent further transgression is the key. Kevin, yo, exactly. Exactly. That is so true, Kevin. That is so true. Mike said, wasn't my fault. Is what I meant. Okay. I was kind of trying to decipher that a little bit, bruh, but I think we kind of made it out. Claudette said, my sis said, I believe you can come back from cheating depending on the situation. Depending on the situation. I agree. Depending on the situation. Excuse me. Now, y'all know I'm going to say it because I say it every week because I believe it. I trust it. And I would not be where I am or who I am without it. Counseling. Counseling. Counseling, 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 counseling. I will be the poster child if they need it. Counseling. Individual and counseling together can help so much when infidelity takes place. Counseling. Because contrary to what popular belief may be, cheating is not always easy. Cheating is not always something you set out to do. Cheating is not always something that, you planned or whatever. Hey, Russell. Cheating is not always a deal breaker, an all end. And a lot of times when people cheat, of course, the person who's cheated on is the one we look at and we give the sympathy and the empathy to, depending on how we look at it in our situation beforehand. And yeah, so we should. I never would say it is okay for a person to cheat just because their spouse did XYZ. I would never say that. I would never say that. I've heard before men say, well, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And, she's not doing this and she's not doing that. And if I can't get it at home, well, I'm going to get it somewhere else. I'm going to come back to that point because I don't want to miss what Sarah said. Sarah said, I say no, especially when you find out that person is a narcissist. Ha. Sarah, we're going to hit on that, sis. We're going to hit on that. But, there's no excuse for cheating, regardless of which side it is. No excuse. I say either you talk that thing out or you go your separate ways. If you feel like that you have to go to someone else to try to soothe your needs, try to help fix what's wrong with you and your significant other, that is the first problem. That is the first problem. And I keep teetering on the topic, y'all, about having friends of the opposite sex. I keep teetering on the topic. We're going to talk about that. We're going to hit that topic eventually. But I've been holding back on it because I really would like to have 2 brothers and a sister with me on this topic. I really don't want to delve into that by myself, so to speak. I would love to have 2 brothers and a sister on the topic. Claudette said, okay, Sarah, definitely and absolutely no excuse. It is a choice. Claudette said, may I ask a question? Most definitely says ask a question. While we're waiting for your question, Kevin said, let's understand that cheating isn't merely sleeping with someone. Brother man, high five, bam. Whenever you are in a relationship with someone, and you invest time and consideration with others, you have cheated. Let me read that again. Kevin, whenever you are in a relationship with someone and you invest time and consideration with others, you have cheated. Sleeping with someone is just the finality if the aforementioned. Okay, brother, you got me. I almost need to take my glasses out on that. The finality if the aforementioned. I love it, Kevin. I love it. It causes hurt people to hurt people. Mike, yes, sir. Claudia, we waiting for your question, sis. Waiting for your question. But like Claudia also said 2 wrongs don't make a right. And 2 wrongs do not make a right. You are correct. 2 wrongs do not make a right. Just because someone cheats on you doesn't mean that you get justice to turn around and sleep and cheat. Excuse me. So yeah, let's stop concluding it at just sex. Kevin, thank you. It doesn't mean that you can as aforementioned. I got it. I was teasing you, brother. As aforementioned. And you said that that aforementioned. We got it. Thank you, Kevin. Yeah, it doesn't just involve the physical. It's texting, it's talking, it's just checking in on you. It's just wanted to see how you were doing, just seeing how you were feeling. Now, we can't really get into that because that's going to go into that area. But let me say this. I'm not saying that every relationship and every friendship that you have with the opposite sex leads to cheating. But I've always heard to guard the corners of your mind. I've always heard that. Guard the corners of your mind. That means you're making sure you're not leaving room for foolishness to come in. You're not leaving room to get caught off guard and distracted. Like you could be in the worst, what you feel the worst relationship. Your spouse, your mate could be not fulfilling the things that you need. And that's possible. And that's possible. That has happened. That has happened to me. That has happened to me. He was not fulfilling the things that I need. Financially, emotionally, spiritually. I was going to say something. Let me not say that. In so many areas. Did I cheat on him? No. No, that wasn't a thought. I wasn't thinking about y'all. I was thinking about what I was going to say. But no, I did not cheat on him. But the best thing to do, hey, Nicole, the best thing to do, the best thing was to move out of the relationship. Because when you find that you're in a position where you want to wrong someone, then you may need to consider, should you be there in the first place? And what can you do to make corrections? Hey, Nicole, girl. Claudia said Claudia's question, I believe, if a spouse has a partner who is ill long term and the well spouse enters into a relationship, can you come back from that? I'm going to kind of try to decipher this a little bit because I think I know. If a spouse has a partner who is ill long term and the well spouse enters into a relationship with someone else, can you come back from that? So I'm assuming you're saying, can you come back and be with the spouse who is ill, or maybe the spouse got better? But I'm going to try to kind of figure what she's saying. So there are these terms that seem to be, and I'm going to say generic terms, within the vows. The vows were written. There's these vows that were written. I'm not sure where they came from. Better or worse, richer for poor. I don't think that's biblical. No, I never read it. I don't know where it came from. So if somebody knows this, let me know. But there is a term, a phrase, a part of commitment in those vows that says for better or for worse. Better or for worse. Richer or poor, in sickness or in health. So to answer and add to what Claudette said, there's no excuse and reason for cheating on your spouse. Especially if your spouse has gotten ill. Listen, and y'all, please, I can only speak for me. All right? But this is why, and this is going out to people, especially those who have never been married. Y'all, I want to give this advice to you. Do not do it unless you have gone through premarital counseling, unless you have had some time, some what I call come to Jesus meetings, heart-to-heart conversations, the hard conversations, unless you've seen this brother, this sister broke or down and out or mad, angry, set, happy, all of those things. This is what the courting stage is for. Thank you, Russell. I didn't think it was, but appreciate it. This is what the courting stage is for, the dating stage. In the dating stage, you are getting to know that other person, their ups, their downs, their ins, their outs. When you start courting that person, because from my understanding, dating is just dating. You're taking the time to see if I like this person. Courting, you've moved to the step of saying, hey, we're headed toward marriage. We are courting. That's my understanding of the definitions of those two words. So when you're courting, if you're not talking about finances, if you're not talking about children, whether you have them or not already, if you are not talking about sexual desires, man, come on. You have no business getting married until y'all go through those things. Nicole said, observe them in all the seasons of life and their behavior, etc. Exactly. You have no business getting married until you've done these things. Now, let me say this. There are people who have done just those things. There is no perfection in this world. Our only perfection is in God. I don't care what you believe. I'm telling you, this is what I believe. This is not about who believe this or who believe that. But I'm saying this. Perfection is in God the Father. That's where perfection comes in at. So, in saying that, it's not to say that you don't go into a relationship and you have these expectations and you've done the counseling and you've had the conversations and all of that, and it does not turn out in the way that you expected. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. But it's important to do those things. That does not mean people who are getting married, thinking about marriage, never been married before, want to be married. That does not mean you negate the fact that all these things are important. Kevin said, there must be boundaries with friendships with others. Okay, I'm going to come back, Kevin. We're going to veer back on that one. Because it looks like we're going to have this conversation, y'all. It looks like we're going to have this conversation. So, thinking about those things. Because if your spouse falls sick, if your spouse gets into a car accident and they're paralyzed from the waist down, or they're paralyzed fully, or they can't function and be, what y'all have here has to be so much more than what was there. It has to be. Because can you live with this man or woman for the rest of your life till death and be committed and not cheat on them? That's why it's so important to not jump into and move fast. And I'm not going to lie, y'all. I'm going to be honest. I moved quickly into a marriage that I shouldn't have been in. And that's just so many reasons behind why that happened. And I understand why it happened. I understand why I did it. I understand now why I did it. And praise God that he allowed me to come out of it, with everything intact. Thank you, Father. But it doesn't always work that way. So when you can take the time to get some counseling, do the counseling. Don't just think that counseling together is the only thing that was necessary. Individual counseling is so important, because how can you come into a situation, a relationship, and not be whole enough for yourself and then try to dump that on somebody else? So unfair. Russell said we have to really know the person that we are in a relationship with. Get to know them before you say I do. Most definitely. All right, so Kevin said, since Kevin went here, we about to go here, Kevin. There must be boundaries with friendships with others of the opposite sex when you're involved. Going on dates and spending time should be a no-no. Certain behaviors should be checked so the probability of slipping can be minimized. Guard the corners of your mind. Respecting your partner while they are not in your presence says a lot about how committed you are to them. Most definitely. It definitely does. Kevin, I love it. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody. Hey, Miss Ophelia. Hey. All right. Make sure I didn't miss anyone's comment, y'all. I'm sorry. I want to make sure. Observe them in all seasons. All right. So I'm gonna let y'all know. Sometimes I do miss comments. I don't know why Facebook kind of skips, and I'll see them after. So keep commenting if y'all, if y'all like to, keep commenting and we'll hit them. Because again, it'll be posted and you can come back. Even if you miss commenting on something you want to share, you can always comment later because it will be on the page. Mike said that will have to become a serious conversation to have with an ill spouse in time. They might understand or allow it to happen. Who knows? You right, Mike. Different folks, different strokes. You might. There may be a spouse that says, hey, if I become ill or if I'm sick or if I'm in a position where I can't be with you that way, I want you to go on and be happy with someone else. That is a conversation. I cannot knock what someone else may do. And so, Mike, you're right. That conversation has to be had. Hey, Jackie, have that conversation. These are the tough things I'm talking about. But cheating, let's kind of reel it back. Can you come back after cheating? And Kevin laid out to us, and he helped us to, know, because I was going more toward the physical, and thank you, Kevin, that cheating is well more than just the physical. It's well more than just the physical. When you take time to confide in someone else that is not your wife or your husband, everybody's not married, I get it, and long-term relationships and committed relationships out that aren't married, I get that. So I don't want to negate that because that's someone's life. That's someone's choice. And so if you're in that relationship, that committed relationship, you're married or you're in a committed relationship and you all have not married, and cheating happens, it hurts just as much. It doesn't hurt any less because you haven't said I do yet at that point. But what we need to understand and how we need to help one another is to know, is that, can you come back from that? And from the jump, the fellas were pretty much like, yeah, you can. And Mike made it clear that it wasn't him. Which means, from a male point of view, if I'm getting this right, if I read this right, what he is saying is, as a man, his feeling is, yeah, you can come back. So Nicole said, do we agree that cheating starts in the mind and follows with actions that lead to other subsequent physical things? I totally agree, Nicole. I totally agree. That's why I can't keep saying it, reiterate it. Guard the corners of your mind. Because when you don't guard the corners of your mind, like Nicole is saying, that thing can turn physical. That thing can turn physical. Because come on now, just because they ain't yours doesn't mean you're not attracted to them. Doesn't mean they don't give you them warm and bubblies. Doesn't mean that they don't make you feel better than your spouse may be making you feel. So when things like that happen, when you find yourself getting in those type of situations, that's when you have to be responsible. You have to say, you know what, let me do this thing the right way. Let me fix this thing. Either I'm going to fix it with my significant other, or I'm going to be genuine enough to let them go. Have those conversations. Kevin said, I know from personal experience that cheating is in some part of relationship trauma. Talking to your partner in an abusive way and treating them less than will open the door for cheating. It will, Kevin. It will. And that's why that communication is key. Listen, if you cannot go to the person that is at some point was the most important, you was crazy about this man, you was crazy about this woman. What happened to that? Just because things happen does not mean that we get to ignore and throw away respect. Just because I'm angry and upset and mad at you doesn't mean that we get to throw away the respect factor. Have the conversation. And if your conversation, if you all don't communicate very well, then like Nicole is saying, and y'all know I'm good for it, counseling might be an option too before it moves to cheating. Counseling. Even if you have to go on your own, even if you have to go and they not necessarily even know about it, and talk to somebody before you make that mistake of destroying lives. Because let's be real, it's not just the adults that suffer from cheating. The children suffer. The ones who had no choice, no option, didn't ask y'all to get together, didn't know y'all, didn't exist. When their lives are destroyed because grown folks don't want to be grown and communicate and talk, then it's not just your spouse that suffers. Your children's emotions and disruption of life is on your hands at this point as well. Care enough about them babies. Mike said, yes, I came back, but years later with another marriage, and now the ex and I are cool, but cool now because we were young. Okay, Mike, I got you. So yeah, he's saying it wasn't on the male, it was on the female. And y'all, and for us that know any how men kind of operate in their mindset, it is hard for men to come back after being cheated on. We ladies, women tend to do that more, come back after some infidelity. But men, man, that's really, really tough for them. Counseling might be an option. Russell said, realistically, what makes a person want to cheat? Realistically, what makes a person want to cheat on his partner? Somebody answer that for Russell, please. What makes a person want to cheat? What makes a person want to cheat on his partner? I personally think what makes someone want to cheat on their partner is lack of them getting what they feel they need from their partner. And here we go with the self-love and the self-confidence and the self-esteem and those areas that you feel lack. A lot of times when someone cheats and they want to blame it on their partner, they really should be blaming it on themselves. Truth be told. Because again, I know it's not realistic, not realistic. I know it's not the case in every situation. And people deal with low self-esteem. People deal with those things. But If you don't take care of you, if you don't learn how to love you and understand you, these kind of things can slip in and happen. Claudia said, however, once you have transparency, honesty, and counseling, you must move on. Counseling, I'm sure she's saying counseling, you must move on. You have to. If you make the decision to stay with your spouse after there's some infidelity, you made the decision to work it out. You can't keep throwing it back in their face. Oh, you cheated, so that, oh, you this, and this is the way I feel this. And I understand it hurts. I understand it takes some getting over, and counseling helps with that. Talking to someone helps with that. But you have to know, if you choose to stay, you can't keep throwing it in their face. Kevin said, in some cases, you can't recover. Creeping with a relative or a close friend will guarantee a death of the relationship. Nicole said, I would say they are not getting satisfied, or the person they are cheating with is offering them something they can't get from a spouse. That's from Russell's question. Russell was saying, what makes them cheat? Nicole also said, those are excuses I listed, not justifying the behavior for cheating. Right. Okay, I see Jackie's comment. It's not on the page here, but it's over here. Let me see. All right. So Nicole said, counseling, cheating, honesty, I would say. Cheating, excuse. Mike said, sex is not, come on, Facebook. Sex is not that emotional for most men. Women, on the other hand, talk to me. I need to know. The fellas need to hear it from the women. Sex is not that emotional for men. I believe that. I believe sex is more of a physical thing for men. It's not as emotional an emotional tie as it is for women. Jackie said, what if you have that conversation with your significant other and they do not respond to anything that you're saying or asking them? Then what do you do when that person is showing you, what do you do when that person is showing you that you're talking about or speaking about doesn't mean anything to them, that just continues to give you the silent treatment? Jackie, this is when I feel you need to, a person would need to hone in and focus on themselves and understand what I'm saying. Because you're in the marriage, you're in the relationship, so you can't just silent with the silent. My advice, my thought, the way I would try to handle that is I need to focus in on me. I need to see why that's acceptable for me and why I may continue to try to go after this person and go after this person and go after this person. And because the more a person goes after something or someone that's continuing to move away from them, the more it breaks them down. Again, this is just my opinion. This is just how I would handle it. I don't believe in the silent treatment. I don't believe in accepting. I believe the silent treatment is a form of abuse and control. When you give someone, I'll have to be honest with y'all. My ex told me that. My ex did that. Tried the silent treatment. And my response to that was, brother, do your worst, because I was built for this. That's not what you want to do. We need to communicate about this thing, because that's a way of controlling. That's a way of making a person be like, talk to me. Why are you not talking to me? What's wrong? What's this and what's that? Narcissistic behavior. That is what that is. It's a definition, y'all. We can look it up and read it. That's a narcissistic behavior. Let's see. When a spouse, Claudia said, when a spouse cheats, it's something about themselves. They like more being with another person. It has nothing to do with their spouse most of the time. Right. I think when people cheat, it has nothing to do really with that spouse. It has nothing really to do with you. This is when it shows how we really feel about ourselves, y'all. Because hurt people hurt people. Hurt people hurt people. So when you think about how you feel about yourself and you feel about the hurt that you have and you resonate that onto somebody else, then you're welcome, Jackie, babe. You resonate that onto somebody else, that's more than likely because you feel a certain way about yourself. And you don't know how to deal with those emotions properly because they can be worked out. They can be taken care of. They can be changed. They can. Claudia said 9 times out of 10, the silent treatment is just another way of pushing the person to break. Yep. Silence is a powerful weapon. It is, Russell. It is a powerful weapon. If you allow it to be a weapon against you. If you allow it to be a weapon against you. Because people will do what you allow them to do. People will do what you allow them to do. Someone's responding. If someone isn't responding to you, get ghost. Constantly pursuing someone who is cheating on you will lead to relationship trauma. That's what Kevin said. Yep. And Mike said, the reason why it's hard for men to not get over it. Okay, y'all. We kind of jumping a little bit. I'm trying to keep up, but I think we all flowing. Because we know the questions and the comments are kind of on the table. So Mike is talking about men, when I mentioned about men not being able to get over being cheated on. The reason why it's hard for men to not get over it is because we have it in our minds that it's not just a physical thing with women who cheat. We believe you must have had an emotional feeling to go outside of the marriage. Most dudes just want to hit just to keep it a $150. Mike, you're right. I agree with that. Usually when women cheat, they have already emotionally checked out of you, brother. They have already checked out. They have already decided they want to move on. They're not satisfied. They're not happy. Usually that's what happens. But like he said, with men, usually men is just they just need a warm vagina. There's not a lot of emotion attached. There's not a lot of emotion attached. Not necessarily the case with every man. But that's coming from a brother that wrote this. That's coming from a man that said that. I know he doesn't speak for all men, but, my mother used to tell me when a man says something, you better listen. You better listen to what they're saying, and you listen to what they're not saying too. But you better listen. Claudia said, let's not forget. Okay, I see it both, and it's bigger over here. Ha! Let's not forget the potential health and life-threatening situation you may find yourself in because of a cheater. Girl, that's a good one. That's a good one, Claudia. Because cheating, when it's sexual, can put you in a position where you can get a disease. It can put you into a life-threatening situation. She is so right. She is so right. So we have to think about these things too. Hey, Tony. Tony said, no, people do what they want to do. Your actions are on you. No one ever made you do anything. Exactly. Tony's coming in talking about when people do cheat. Kevin said, no, LOL. Need more than just a warm box. Hey, that's why, Kevin, I said some men. I'm not putting this on all men. I said some men. Some men. Every man is not built the same. Some men have that emotional attachment, and they want that emotional attachment, and they need that. So we're not going to put everybody in one box. Thank you, Kevin. We're not going to put everybody in one box. But Tony made a really great point. No one can force you or make you do anything. When you make the decision to step out on your significant other, that is on you. If you have not taken the time to say to them, you know what? I'm having a problem. I'm having a problem with you. I'm having an issue. There's a lack of this and that. However you have that conversation, it's on you. It's on you. For someone to find out that you have gone somewhere else and confided in someone or been with someone, and you come back and you all in their face and you pretending that it's okay, how low can you be? How low can you be? That is low. Hurt people hurt people. Mike said, we cannot take animal nature out of the equation, but we have to have our moral compass in check. Exactly. Look, sex is a wonderful, great thing. We're talking about the physical. I have never had sex that has been so great that it just covers like everything. Like, this sex has to be so beyond golden and great that it's going to make me jeopardize my livelihood, my children, my relationship. Because you never know what happens behind that. You never know what can happen behind that. Mike said it's hard for men to get over it. You keep laughing, Kevin. It's hard for men to get over it. Yeah. So, y'all, can you get over it? Let's talk about that part. We've talked about all the reasons we shouldn't do it. We've talked about all the reasons. Hey, Paulette. Hey, girl. We talked about all the things why we shouldn't do it. A lot of things about why we shouldn't do it. But let me say this. I'm sorry. Let me get Russell's first. Because the screen is moving on me. Russell said, I cannot speak for all men, but we all have appetites. For me, it's for physical, visual, sexual, and emotional. Kevin, be quiet. It's for physical. Paulette, girl. We cannot take. Okay. The page is flipping on me. Let me try to get back where we were. I cannot speak for all men, but we all have an appetite. Russell, y'all not the only ones that had that type of appetite. So, I mean, women have that type of appetite as well. But I get what you're saying. So because men have that appetite, and you speaking for a man, not all men, but you speaking for some men, I'm sure, the physical, the visual, the sexual, and the emotional. That's what y'all need and that's what y'all want. So if y'all aren't getting that, and I'm not saying you, Russell, have done this or doing that, but just men, if y'all aren't getting that, yeah, Claudia, you stupid. You got to talk to your mate. Just because you're not getting initially, and listen. Let's say this part. Since Russell did say that. Fellas, if you are not getting what you want and desire sexually, take that compass and lead it back to and direct it back and let it direct you back to you. Again, doesn't apply for everything and every situation and all. But I'm going to say this for the ladies. I'm going to say this for the ladies. And ladies, if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. If you are not giving your man what he desires sexually, your man is not giving something to you emotionally or mentally. Tell me if I'm wrong. Ladies. Fellas, you can get, listen, my man can get anything out of me sexually that we agree on, we morally are good with, ain't nobody getting killed. If he does certain things, if he taps into that emotion, if he taps into my mental, man, please, brother, But if there's a disconnect, then more than likely there's going to be a physical disconnect. There is going to be a physical disconnect. Have those conversations. Communication is key. Paulette says she can't speak on that because she cheat. Girl, you stupid. She co-signs what Russell said. Oh, Kevin said he co-signs what Russell said about that physical and that mental and that all of that. All right. Okay. Paulette said Russell is my brother. Yep, he my brother too, sis. He is my brother too. But yeah, fellas, if y'all are not getting, if she ain't getting buck wild for you, if she not trying and experiencing things for you, this is a full circle of taking care of one another. Aloha! This is a full circle of taking care of one another. If we don't get in relationships, and we should not get into relationships to be self-serving. If I'm in a relationship, I'm in a relationship because I want to serve this brother. And he should want to serve me. If we're serving one another, there's nobody else that can come in and distract us. Let's get at the core root of truly, honestly, where cheating comes in at. We forget that we're there for each other. We forget that we are there to serve one another. Have a problem with the word service if you want to. Because I know my Heavenly Father served for me. And if he can serve, my Creator can serve, how dare I not be able to serve the person I say that I love the most? If you have an ego trip and a problem with the word serve, you don't need to be in a relationship. Period. You don't need to be in a relationship because we are there to serve one another's needs. Are we not? It does not mean that we have to capture every single need and everything. I want her to cook. I want her to clean. I want him to work 3 jobs. I want him to buy me this. I'm not talking about those needs or wants like that. I'm talking about serving one another. Claudia said, a way to a woman's heart is through her heart, mind, body, and soul. Yes. Russell said, where can I say it better? Russell said, come on, ladies. Men are not complicated. We are not hard to figure out. You know what, Russell? I can agree with that. And the same token, Russell, women aren't complicated. We are easy to figure out. And y'all gonna say, no, women complicated, blah, blah, blah. We are more complex, possibly, than you all are. Because let's understand the nature of us and how we were created. The man does certain things. The woman does certain things. When God created Adam, Adam had a job. Adam took care of things. Eve came in as his what? His helpmate. So Eve is complex in her way and Adam is complex in his way. But if we look at the purpose for being in a relationship and that's serving one another. Oh, Mike, what you saying never about? It's serving one another. We won't come into this complexity. Like we won't holler all the time. I can't figure him out. I can't figure her out. She this and she that. Well, take the time and sit down and try. Take the time to think about it. Women can be extremely confusing, Donna. LOL. We can be complex, Mike, just like y'all can be complex. But figure your woman out. I guarantee y'all can put together what tell me something. If you can build an engine, fellas, if you can put a car together, or you can build in the house, so you can figure out. And y'all do that stuff without directions, because y'all don't like to read instructions. Women can receive. Okay. Tony said a one-time mistake is not cheating. Cheaters repeat the offense over and over again. I got needs is a punk ass excuse. Just being real. Because that's what we're here for, Tony. We're here to be real. I have needs is a punk ass excuse. What Tony said. And I'm with it. It is. It is, because your needs can be met. But if you think they're going to be met by Jennifer, Joanne, Susan, Kelly, Claudia, but Sarah, Ashley, I'm reading off my list because I'm throwing out names. If you think all of these needs can be met by all of those women and all of those different people, whether it's sexual, emotional, physical, then that speaks a lot about you, brother. Because if you can't maintain one, then maybe Mike is right. Women can be extremely confusing. You confusing yourself by dealing with all those different complexities. Ha ha! And ladies, same thing. Kevin said, Donna, women. Okay. Claudia said, if we were not, the man wouldn't be interested. If we weren't complex. Claudia, bam, that is true. And let me tell you why I feel that is true. Because men are conquerors. Men like to figure it out. Men like to conquer. Men like to see whose is bigger and whose is better. And if I could win, if I could do. I mean, were y'all, tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. Repeat offenders. She said repeat offenders. A one-time mistake is not cheating. Cheaters repeat. Repeat offender. Totally agree. Totally agree. Tony, that was a good one. I like that one. All right, y'all. So, again, remember, please, y'all can continue to have this discussion. We can continue the discussion. All you have to do is continue to comment because the post will be there. But I think we delved into a lot that kind of, that answer. Let's give an answer. Let's give an answer to the question. Can you come back from cheating? And the answer to that question is, that is totally up to you. That is totally up to you and what's going on in your relationship. Again, I would never tell anyone to leave unless they're being abused and hurt and their children and all of that. And that abuse comes in so many different ways. Narcissistic people, only time can tell is the answer. That's right. Only time can tell. You know what's going on in your relationship. You know what's going on in your house. You know what went on in the situation. No one should ever, I don't even think, even counselors should tell somebody to leave their significant other. I would really hope and pray and think that it can be worked out. There can be a resolution, especially when you have children involved. And even if you don't have children involved, emotions and feelings, all of those things are still there. All of those things are still, whether you're dealing with one person or 5 people. I truly feel like if families can work it out and come together and be rebuilt and reestablished, I really feel like God is pleased and happy with that. It's not always possible. Doesn't mean God is not pleased and happy other places. But I really feel like if you can come back together and mend and build and rebuild, that can be a great thing. That can be a great thing. We feel like conflict, and some people try to shield their children from conflict and fussing and arguing and stuff like that. There are some things that children shouldn't be involved in, true enough. But when your children see that you can have conflict and then y'all could talk and work it out, man, do you understand what you giving to them? Do we understand what we giving to our children when they can see us deal with conflict inside the household, and then we talk and we work that thing out and we teach them this is how God wants it. This is how we should do it. This is how we should treat each other and ourselves. Jackie said, I did everything for my husband. I cooked every day, washed and ironed all his work uniforms, ran his bath water every day, and sometimes washed his butt, served him in bed, but he never appreciated anything I'd done for him. I asked him why you don't treat me good like you used to. He said to me, I have you now. I don't have to do those things anymore. His women work, call my house and curse me out. They disrespect me, and he disrespect me as well. I've never cheated on him the whole 28 years that we have been married. Jackie, I'm so sorry that you're dealing with that situation. I'm so sorry that it's been 28 years. I'm sorry it's been 28 years of that for you. But I would like to say, Jackie, I want to say this to you and anybody else, male or female, woman or man. Love yourself. Get to a position in place where you love yourself. Really love yourself. I agree with a part two. Tony said God can restore, but both people have to want it. Yes, Tony, that was to a comment. But we're going to end on Jackie's comment, y'all. Do me a favor. Do me a favor. If you listen to this later, or if you hear now, give Jackie a loving word of advice. A loving word of advice. My word of advice for Jackie here is love yourself, sis. Find ways to love yourself. I see your pictures. I see your fur babies. Jackie has a lot of fur babies, y'all. I see your fur babies and your children. Jackie, love yourself. Love yourself. Counseling is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. You're right, Tony. No one deserves. Tony says, sorry, Jackie, that dude is a punk. No one deserves that. You're right. No one deserves that. No one. Love yourself, baby. Love yourself, Jackie. All right, y'all. We can hit a part two on this next week if y'all would like. I have no problem with that. If y'all want to do a part two, if there's more to say, then put on the chat, put in the or inbox me if y'all like, and let me know if we want to do a part two. Other than that, we'll have another topic for next week. Love you, Jack. Love you. Other than that, we'll have another topic next week. Next week is spring break for some. So I plan to still be here to do Camper Conversations, but I can't guarantee I'm going to be in Georgia. It's spring break. I got a week off. Okay. My advice is stop doing so much for him and treat yourself. Take care of you, Jackie. Love yourself. Jackie, you can only truly love others after you love yourself, and you are worthy. Jackie, that's for you, girl. That is for you. Love yourself. Thank y'all. Let's keep it coming. Let's give Jackie Crystal. I ain't stunning you, man. Oh, she wants to be. You know what? Let's do it. Let's do it. Crystal asked to join live, y'all. I don't know what happened. Was that a mistake? Maybe that was a mistake. Oh, I think it was a mistake. Hey, Crystal. Mike said, if he doesn't love you the way you need to be loved, Jackie, love yourself and find someone that will. It's out there, sweetie. Ooh, talk to God. Prayers do work. That's right. That's right. Prayers do work. Prayers do work, Jackie. Love you, girl. Love all of y'all. I figured it was a mistake. But Crystal, we about to sign off. It is 8:07. I got on a little late, so we're ending just about right where we started. So we got an hour in. Good discussion. I love y'all so much. I so appreciate this. Y'all just don't understand what this does for me, and I hope it does just as much for y'all. Let's keep loving each other. Keep loving each other. Prayer without works is dead, Jackie. Prayer without works is dead, my dear. Love yourself. Love yourself. All right, y'all. Love y'all. Let me in because I'm always messing up. I can end. Let me end IG. Hey, y'all coming on at the last minute, and I'm trying to log off. Hey, y'all can watch the video. I'm getting ready to post it. Mike, help me with that. Help me get on YouTube. Somebody help me get on YouTube, please. Because truth be told, I would have to kind of figure out how to do it. If y'all can school me on that, let me know so we can get on YouTube and we can take this thing better, bigger, and better. You just got home? I'm sorry, babe. We about to log off, but you can watch it and still comment. Please watch and still comment. Y'all, because we need to show Jackie some love tonight. All right? Love y'all. All right. Okay, ladies. We out. We out. We out on IG. IG wants you to do so much. All right, Facebook. We gone. All right, Mike. Let me know, brother. Love y'all.